Greetings to all who wish to be greeted. I'm Dahlia Doll, and this is Scholastic IQ, the game show where knowledge rules. I am joined today by returning players from previous episodes. From Caterville, we have, once again, Nick, Kieran, James, and Maddox. And from Mascoutah, we have, once again, Clara, Max, Kaylee, and Chase, not the bank. Players, how have you all been doing since your last respective episodes? Okay. All right, feel good about winning? Well, only one of you can win again tonight, so we will see who does not. Now, players, of course, I know that you are familiar with the rules because you were on previous episodes, but what of the audience? If this is your first episode, don't worry, I've got you. Players, you will begin with toss-up questions. I will ask a question, and each team will have 10 seconds to buzz in and answer. If you answer incorrectly, the other team gets a chance to steal. If you interrupt me while I'm talking, you can get the points if you answer correctly. But if you answer incorrectly, not only does the other team get the chance to steal, they also get 5 points. So if you're going to interrupt me, be correct. And if you are correct, you also get the chance to answer the bonus question, in which none of you need to buzz in for. It automatically goes to your whole team. So anyone can say anything they want. And there are other things that we do that we will talk about later. So players, are you all ready? Fantastic. Then let's begin with our first toss-up question. What state where Congressman Ruben Gallego is running in 2024 to replace former Democratic Senator Kirsten Sinema?
Arizona.
That is correct. We would have also accepted the abbreviation AZ. You get to answer the bonus question. Cape Angela, which contains the northernmost point on mainland Africa, is found in what country?
Morocco.
That is incorrect. Mascoutah, your chance to steal.
Algeria.
That is also incorrect. We were looking for Tunisia, or the Tunisian Republic. Next question, players. Pencil and paper ready. It's a math question, y'all, and so early in our game. How many minutes will a round trip take if the first leg takes 15 minutes and the last leg takes 1/5 less time? Nick.
27.
That is correct, 27 minutes. You get to answer the bonus question. What polyatomic ion with chemical formula MnO4 minus, that's M as in Michael, N as in November, O4 minus, is known for its intensely purple potassium salt?
Permanganate.
That is correct. What surname is shared by a California governor recalled in 2003, an actress?
Newsom.
Say that again?
Newsom.
That is incorrect. Mascoutah, your chance to steal, and I will read the whole question. What surname is shared by a California governor recalled in 2003, an actress known for her eyes named Betty, and the president of the Confederacy? Clara.
Davis.
That is correct, Davis. You get to answer the bonus question now. What Italian author wrote about William of Baskerville, a friar asked to investigate a murder, in the philosophical mystery, The Name of the Rose? Sorry, players, you are out of time. Caterville.
Fermi.
That is incorrect. We were looking for Umberto Eco. Umberto Eco. What kingdom used Ibutho regiments to trigger a series of population displacements called the Umfekeni under kings Dingane, Keshwayo, and Shaka? Sorry, players, you are out of time. We're looking for the Zulu Kingdom or Zulu Empire. Fun fact, they give me the pronunciations for some of the names here in phonetic American English, and they did that for all the names except for Shaka. They trusted me on that one. I'm honored. What book, whose sequel, White Bird, continues the story of the bully Julian, was written by...
Wonder.
Say again?
Wonder.
That is correct. Bonus question. The Bridal Chorus comes from what Richard Wagner opera named after a knight of the Holy Grail? Sorry, you're out of time. Mascoutah goes to you.
Gallahan?
That is incorrect. We were looking for Lohengrin. Lohengrin. Time for a media question, which does not yield a bonus question if you get it correct. Please turn your attention to the television screen. In 1992, this alternative rock band started up in Los Angeles, Maddox.
Weezer.
Wii U. That is correct. What scientist names a statement about fermions that means that at most 2 electrons can be in the same organ?
Polly.
That is correct. Wolfgang Ernst Pauli. You get to answer the bonus question now, Nick, or any of you. What 10-letter adjective describes novels written in the form of letters, such as Samuel Richardson's Clarissa?
Epistolary.
That is correct. They didn't trust me to pronounce that one. What royal house descended from Electress Sophia due to an act of settlement preceded Coburg Gotha and produced 4 monarchs named George? Sorry, you are out of time. We were looking for the House of Hanover, or the Hanoverians. What novel in which Pete, Georgie, and Dim speak a futuristic slang called Nadsat was written by Anthony Burgess? James.
A Clockwork Orange.
A Clockwork Orange is correct. You get to answer the bonus question. Charles Barkley began his NBA career with what team, which won the 1983 NBA championship behind center Moses Malone?
Miami Heat.
That is incorrect. Mascoutah goes to you.
The Suns.
Sorry, that is incorrect. We don't have any 80s NBA fans among these high schoolers tonight. Unfortunately, it is the Philadelphia 76ers. We would have also accepted just Sixers. What molecule, which can be added using Wilkinson's catalyst, is added to alkynes and alkenes to reduce them to alkanes and is the lightest gas? Nick.
Hydrogen.
That is correct. You get to answer the bonus question. A plain, unadorned capital is typical of what order of column in ancient Greek architecture, which is simpler than the Ionic and Corinthian?
Cretan.
That is incorrect. Mascoutah, it's yours to steal. Sorry, you were out of time. We were looking for Doric order. Doric order. In July 2024, what party lost 234 seats, including that of...
UK Conservative Party.
That is correct. The Conservative Party. You get to answer the bonus question. In what country did Patriarch Nikon's 1653 reforms cause a major schism which resulted in a movement of so-called Old Believers?
Russia.
That is correct. Russia. This next one's immediate question. Please turn your attention to the television screen. This comic is about a character who is sluggish, overweight. Maddox.
Garfield.
That is correct. I don't like Mondays either, but it's the day we shoot. What landmark, which is formed on the Ayantepwe in Kanaima National Park, is named for an American aviator and is the world's tallest waterfall? Maddox.
Niagara Falls.
That is incorrect. Mascoutah, it's yours to steal. Chase, not the bank.
Victoria Falls.
That is also incorrect. We were looking for Angel Falls. Players, I just talked about angels, but these clouds don't mean heaven. They mean it's time for the lightning round. You will be given, there it is. You will be given 60 seconds to answer a question from one of 4 categories of your choice. Mascoutah, because you're behind, you will get to choose first. The 3 B's of classical music. Given a statement, state whether it applies to J.S. Bach, Ludwig van Beethoven, or Johannes Brahms, or none of the above. You also get to do women in sports, 3-letter surnames, and 3 consonants. Give these sets of initials, like JFK for John F. Kennedy, composed of 3 consonants.
We'll do 3 consonants.
3 consonants, all right. Got some JFK fans here. Truly mind-blowing. All right, your 60 seconds begin in 3, 2, 1. A nickname for the president from 1933 to 1945.
FDR.
Correct, and remember you do get to pass. Fast food company founded by Colonel Sanders.
KFC.
Correct. Adobe format that preserves file formatting.
PDF.
Correct. UK's national broadcaster.
BBC.
Correct. Navigation system based on US satellites.
GPS.
Correct. Nickname for Saudi Arabia's crown prince.
Pass.
Music notation meaning extremely quiet.
PPP.
Correct. Official initialism for East Germany.
Pass.
Salt of glutamic acid used as a food additive.
MSG.
That is correct. That is correct. For the ones you missed or did not get to, nickname for Saudi Arabia's crown prince, MBS. Official initialism for East Germany was GDR or DDR. And organization for which Kennesaw Mountain Landis was a commissioner. We were going to do MLB for Major League Baseball. Carterville goes to you now. Your choices are the 3 B's of classical music, women in sports, and 3-letter surnames.
3-letter surnames.
3-letter surnames it is. Name these people whose surnames in English are 3 letters long. Your 60 seconds begins in 3, 2, 1. Boxer who fought the Rumble in the Jungle against George Foreman.
Ali.
Correct. Educator known as the Science Guy.
Nye.
Correct. Comedian Keegan-Michael who worked with Jordan Peele.
Key.
Correct. Widow of Beatles songwriter John Lennon.
Yoko Ono.
Correct. Architect of the Louvre Pyramid.
I am Pei.
You're not, but correct. Former Prime Minister of Japan assassinated in 2022.
Shinzo Abe.
Say again?
Abe.
Correct. First Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court.
J.
Correct. Actress who played Monica Geller on Friends.
Pass.
Mexican writer who won the 1990 Nobel Prize in Literature.
Pass.
Founder of the Quakers.
Penn.
Say again?
Penn.
That is incorrect. We're out of time. The Mexican writer who won the 1990 Nobel Prize in Literature was Octavio Paz. The founder of the Quakers was George Fox, and the actress who played Monica Geller on Friends was Courtney Cox. Players, we are going to go back to toss-ups. What title character who walks to Stonehenge with her husband Angel Clare in an 1891 novel by Thomas Hardy is descended from the noble D'Urbervilles? Kaylee.
Tess of the D'Urbervilles?
Say again?
Tess of the D'Urbervilles?
Correct. Tess Derbyfield. We accepted Tess anyway, so you get that correct. You get to answer the bonus question. The Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library is scheduled to open on July 4th, 2026, near Theodore Roosevelt National Park in what state?
Wyoming.
That is incorrect. Caterville, would you like to steal?
South Dakota.
Oh, so close. It's North Dakota. Ah, you were bordering it too. That's a shame. What former secretary for E.D. Nixon sparked a widespread boycott in 1955 in Montgomery, Alabama after she refused to give her seat up? Max.
Rosa Parks.
That is correct. You get to answer the bonus question. In 1865, Henry Weirs was executed for his role in running what kind of facility near Anderson, Georgia, where almost 13,000 people died?
POW camp.
Yeah, that's correct. You got it just as time was running out. Prisoner of war camp or POW camp. Not POW. What philosopher who described the possibility of being misled by a demon in his meditations on James?
Descartes.
That is correct. Rene Descartes. You get to answer the bonus question. Carlos Fuentes' novel, The Old Gringo, fictionalizes what other author who disappeared in Mexico and wrote the satirical The Devil's Dictionary?
Ambrose Bierce.
That is correct. Oh, whoops. What circuit element whose strength is measured in farads? Kaylee.
Capacitor.
That is correct. You get to answer the bonus question. In July 2023, the World Health Organization named what artificial sweetener derived from amino acids as a possible carcinogen?
Red 40.
It is incorrect. Carterville.
Stevia.
That is incorrect. We were looking for aspartame. We're looking for aspartame or NutraSweet or equal. Time for a media question. Please turn your attention to the television screen. This dark fantasy anime is based on Maddox.
Attack on Titan.
That is correct. What black pianist notes, "So that's how I ended up at Juilliard," in a 2023 documentary for which he wrote the song It Never Went Away, American Symphony? American Symphony being the name of the documentary. Sorry, you're out of time. John Batiste, or Jonathan Michael Batiste. What novel whose protagonist is from Jufer in the Gambia is subtitled The Saga of an American Family is about Kunta Kinte? Max.
Roots.
That is correct. They put a lot of pauses in this one, like intentional pauses. What word can mean a device on the back of a car that improves its aerodynamics or certain types of unwanted information?
Spoiler.
That is correct. I haven't seen Joker Folie à Deux yet, so don't give me one of those. What state, which is home to Block Island Sound and most of Narragansett Bay, is known as the Ocean State and is governed... James.
Rhode Island.
That is correct. You get to answer the bonus question. A trill is a special case of what musical effect denoted by heavy bars that is a rapid alternation between two notes?
Vibrato.
That is incorrect, and you're out of time. Mascoutah, would you like to steal? You get to anyway.
Glissando.
Say that again?
Glissando.
That is incorrect. We were looking for tremolo. Tremolo. Sorry, Chase, not the bank. In what election did the first third-party campaign of Texas billionaire Ross Perot?
1992.
That is correct. What international organization is responsible for approving the names of elements and standardizing the rules for naming compounds?
SI.
That is incorrect. Mascoutah. Sorry, you're out of time. We were looking for IUPAC, or International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry.
Interesting.
What planet, which was hit in 1994 by pieces of Comet Shoemaker... Aaron.
Jupiter.
That is correct. What creature produces a blue, uncertain, stumbling sound in an Emily Dickinson poem about hearing it, quote, "when I died," end quote?
A fly.
That is correct. I usually don't say what's in the quotes, but I haven't died yet, and I wanted to clarify that. Media question, please turn your attention to the television screen. Dragon Ball Z is a science fiction, martial arts manga, and anime series that follows the adventures of Son Goku and his companions as they defend Earth from a variety of villains. Name this anime. Maddox.
Dragon Ball Z.
Correct. I read this as it was written, so I assume that was a mistake on the part of the people who make this show. But Dragon Ball Z. What country with which Great Britain fought the Cod War was home to Nobel Prize winning Maddox?
Iceland.
That is correct. Home of Lazy Town, Iceland. What pro-slavery merchant from South Carolina was the namesake of a yellow flag depicting a snake and the phrase, "Don't tread on me"?
Pass.
Okay, Mascoutah, you want it? Ooh, I know you all know the flag, but it was Christopher Gadsden. Christopher Gadsden. What battle in which a charge by the 20th Maine under Joshua Chamberlain... James.
The Battle of Gettysburg.
That is correct. You get to answer the bonus question. In 2024, the IOC banned Russia and Belarus from sending teams of athletes with physical limitations to what competition in Paris?
The Paralympics.
That is correct. And that doorbell means that we are at the end of our show. Players. Mascoutah. It was a valiant effort with 165 points. Unfortunately, Caterville got 360 points. I say got. You earned it. You earned it, Caterville. Congratulations on being today's winners. And I have been your host, Dahlia Dahl, having so much fun with this show. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you all so much for playing. Please have a good night.